Today we're heading to Tasmania's beautiful Huon Valley. It's in the southern region of Tasmania, about a half an hour drive from Hobart. It's known for rolling hills, a rich history, and a strong community spirit. It's also a place that's experiencing some big changes. So while Tasmania's population is growing and more people are looking to live outside of Hobart, the Huon is facing the challenge and the opportunity of planning for a future that balances growth with its unique regional identity. That's where the Land Use and Development Strategy, or LUDS, comes in. Back in 2022, the Huon Valley Council commissioned SGS Economics and Planning, along with Irene Inc. and residents, to help shape a long-term plan that figures out where housing, jobs, and various forms of infrastructure should go. The goal is to protect what people love about the Huon, while also making room for a changing future. I got involved with the LUDS back in 2022 as project manager, and that's where I met Rong. So it's been a really rewarding project to work on, and I've been really struck by Rong's dedication to the community, his community-centered approach, and his groundedness. He's had a real knack for navigating tricky planning issues while keeping an eye on the bigger picture. So that's made him a natural choice for this interview. Plus, I really just like working with him and talking with him, and I wanted to share that with you too. We're going to talk about what drew him to planning, what made the Huon Valley project special, and what other councils might be able to take away from this experience. I hope you love it as much as I do.
All right, see how we go, David. You got me a little bit nervous, but it's okay.
I'm curious what it was kind of first like. What even drew you into Tasmania in the first place?
That's a really good question, and actually, that is, I think that is my personal choices. I think 20 years ago, I think Launceston is my first stop when I was a international student back in the days. And simple one, just want to get away from my parents and the home. Because I just wanted to pursue my personal dreams and personal career, because I'm not in a unplanned way. So because at that time I don't really know what I really want until I came here. English was my first language at the time, so everything has become a little bit hard. But gradually I get to fit into the culture, the way people do things, and so my path into planning wasn't a straight one. I actually started out in computer science. It's really interesting. So I think it is really a personality fit, because when I was actually a software engineer back in the days, I always use my brain and interact with computer, and I really realized that it is not so fun facing a computer. So that's why I decided to switch my career. And over the time, I realized what I really enjoy was shaping the bigger picture and actually thinking about how places grow and how we can balance development with long-term sustainability. And strategic planning offer that opportunity. Finally, got a chance to work in the Huon Valley, have got the great opportunity to shape the whole region. So, I mean, it's incredible. So it is honestly such a privilege. It is also a place of incredible natural beauty, with rivers, coastline, farms, forest, and each town has its own distinct identity. But what really stands out to me is how deeply people cared about the place. The level of community connection means that the work we do really matters, and it keeps you grounded in the value of the people you are planning for.
My experience obviously has been my first introduction to you was working on the land use and development strategy, and I'm keen to kind of understand what was a highlight for you working on this project, if something kind of stands out to you.
Good question, David. There are a number of highlights. LARS was the first major strategic planning project our council has done in over 20 years' time. So there was a real gap, not just in terms of the policy, but in community trust as well. People hadn't seen a clear long-term vision for the valley for a long time. And many were actually questioned about whether their voices could generally be heard. So being able to step into the space and rebuild trust through the meaningful engagement was hugely important. And that was really a big piece of work. We had to bring together a lot of complex issues like heritage, housing, infrastructure, and the environment, and the future of growth. So, and making it all fit together in a way that community would understand and support. So, seeing it come together as a shared vision rather than just a technical document was definitely the most rewarding part. So, it was also a really privilege to work alongside leading experts like SGS.
You say it's a privilege to work with us, but I know just in my experience how important it is to have involved council officers. And I would say that, a highlight for me working with your team was just how involved you were and how conscientious you were of getting that community buy-in. So yeah, absolutely. The highlights go both ways. Wrong.
Thank you, David.
But I think with any kind of long-term strategy, there can be some big challenges. So I'm curious from your perspective what you thought some of the big challenges were and how you navigated through them.
So, one of the hardest part was actually finding a balance between protecting what's special about the valley and making room for future growth. So you are dealing with passionate views on all sides, whether it is farming land, bushfire risk, housing need, or environmental value. So all of it's important. We navigate that by being really transparent. So explaining why we are proposing certain directions, showing the evidence behind our thinking, and be upfront about the trade-off. We also create space for people to challenge us and be part of the conversation. It wasn't always that easy, but it helped build trust and keep people at the table.
If you had to go back to Rong in 2022, what advice would you give to him and then other council officers tackling similar projects?
I think one of the big things is treating, engagement as a genuine dialogue, not just a box to tick. We were trying to make sure people were involved at every key stage, not just at the start or the end. And we didn't shy away from the hard conversation. In fact, we often find that those were the most constructive. Another thing I would say to work well was taking a long-term program-based approach. Instead of doing just one-off study, just like 20 years ago, there was a study but has never been implemented. We built a rolling program of work that aligns with our land use development strategy, and that helps with community and momentum, and also give us a better structure for the implementation. And then lastly, I think relationship matter, like what you said. We invest a lot in building trust internally and externally. So that really pay off when we hit those more difficult or technical parts.
Definitely. I think all of those points are really useful. And I think as an extension to that, if you had to give advice to people, considering a career in planning or just starting out, do you have any professional or personal advice that you'd provide to them?
Start with curiosity. Really take the time to understand the place, your community, and also the challenges you are trying to solve. And don't be afraid of the complexity. Strategic planning is a full of it, but it also full of opportunity. Don't be feared. Just do what you are thinking to do.
Mm.
So actually, planner is really is a really a good profession actually will exercise your brain to develop your critical thinking, as well as it involves all sorts of the project management, including stakeholder management, technical analysis, and balancing the need, compromise on your ground while still delivering a good result for the community. So there's a lot of things involved in this exercise, not just what are those planning principles? How do I actually turn the planning principles into a document, a strategy? It is actually collaborating with the whole community internally and externally. So I guess the point that I want to raise is just be fearless and
Mm,
do what you wanted to do. Don't underestimate the value of the communication.
mm,
Being able to explain idea clearly, engage meaningfully, and bring people along with you. And that's what turns a good strategy into something that really get delivered.
yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I think the communication piece is really important because, like I mentioned before, and like you said, I mean, these are big, chunky documents, and as planners, there are a lot of acronyms. There's a lot of data, and I think we can be a little bit in our own world sometimes and forget that less is oftentimes way more, and that even down to the words that we use are not the general community doesn't speak that way. And so to be able to that's where the power of the strategy is. So yeah.
We are actually delivering, one of the actions derived from the last, which is the Huon Valley residential structural plan. And at the very early stage, uh, we have tried to work with the consultant to identify the key stakeholders. And then we have evolved then at the very start.
Sounds pretty busy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully not lots of late nights for you.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah, that's kind of a given. Well, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time, Rong. It's much appreciated. I will chat to you later. Thanks, Rong.
Okay, catch you later. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
And now I'd like to tell you a little bit more about LGIU Australia. It's a not for profit membership organization delivered through partnership between SGS Economics and Planning and LGIU, or the Local Government Information Unit. The mission is to make local government in Australia collectively stronger. We do this by creating and curating information and connecting our members. It's part of a growing LGIU community of 30,000 local government professionals worldwide. You can learn more about LGIU Australia using the links below, and I'd also encourage you to follow LGIU Australia on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching.